Everybody, and welcome to another exciting edition of the SoCal Prep Report. Rich Estrella along with Bob Gibson. Randy Roosevelt will be joining us shortly and talk about some city section. It's the playoffs. We don't have any time for goofing around today, Bob, Randy.
Goofing around.
So let's keep going. Let's go to open division, or Division One. You keep calling it open division.
No, you keep calling open division.
No,
it'll be open when we get to the state.
Roosevelt's got the open division.
Yeah, right. The city's got the open.
All right, let's look at the brackets and see what's going to happen. These guys did not play last week because there's only 8 teams in Division One that they're taking.
Why do these guys get to rest?
I don't know, man, but they probably all need it. But you see, man, Bishop Amat, I mean, they really did get the short end of the stick.
Did they ever?
If I'm Amat, I might want to be in that Division Two bracket, you know. I mean, come on. But anyways, they got Mater Dei this week, #1 team in the country. Beneath that, in the lower bracket, Silverite Mission Viejo. Interesting game. Mission Viejo's favored there. Of course, Mater Dei favored over Amat. And then we have Bosco, Calabasas. That game is at Bosco. Calabasas, another first-round exit. And then we're going to have Centennial at J. Serra. That's an interesting game right there. I think Centennial will win. Bob, in this whole bracket, I'm interested in what Centennial's going to do when they play Bosco.
Well, too bad Centennial's going to get Mater Dei in round 2. I mean, that's just, you know, Centennial's
no, they're getting Bosco.
Bosco.
That's what I want to see. I'm living for that game.
Centennial's going to get Bosco in round 2. It's going to be Mater Dei Servite, I believe, after the first round here.
Kiss it, Dad,
I think Servite pulls off the upset on Mission Viejo. I think Mission Viejo a little overrated this year. I'm going to take Servite in this one. Oh. So I think you're looking at Mater Dei, Servite, Centennial, and Bosco.
Larry, we got to be checking his cut when he comes in for dinner every night, Bob. I think you're teetotaling over here, man.
Mountain Dew in that cup.
That's some pretty bold
predictions,
my friend. It is what it is. All right, let's go to Division 2. That's enough of this nonsense. These things are fairly cut and dry. These 2 games are, in my opinion, but my opinion means nothing, Bob. That's why they play the games. All right, Division 2, we have had some games real quick. Vista Murrieta.
This is going to be a lot more fun.
Yes, you got Vista Murrieta, Sierra Canyon. Big games last week. Sierra Canyon 35-21 over Santa Margarita. Vista Murrieta 24-21 over Notre Dame.
Yeah, I know. That was an interesting finish right there.
So
I think
Bob,
that was a little bit of an upset.
This one's going to be good. We'll see what happens, man. I mean, it's going to be close. That's all I can tell you. All right, continuing on. Long Beach Poly, Rancho Cucamonga.
Look at Poly getting in again.
I don't know, Bob. I know, but they're in Division 2. I just don't know about this game, man. I don't
have
a clue how that's going to end.
I still like Cucamonga in the game. I agree with you, but never count out the Jackrabbits.
No, last week they defeated Orange Lutheran 27-24. That was a close one, Bob.
That was, no. And we saw Santa Margarita gave it a good run. Orange Lutheran really gave it a good run. It shows you even the bottom of the Trinity League is still better than most teams in Southern California.
Lower group in the
absolutely
in the right bracket there. Rancho Verde, San Clemente. Another game we'd never see. San Clemente's pretty good, but so is Rancho Verde, Bob. This game is a pick 'em. You could flip a coin, as you can with Upland and Chaminade.
I agree. I mean, the way Chaminade, Ed Crozian has really done a heck of a job this year. I think he's Coach of the Year, without a doubt. The way Chaminade has started the season to where they are now, you can't, I mean, come on. Chaminade did not look that great, a couple of months ago. Now they're a team that I think has a heck of a shot to run some things here and maybe win a championship. That's how good Chaminade's playing right now.
You think so, Bob?
I give him as much a shot as anybody in this bracket.
All right, continuing on. Let's take a look at Division 3. Pardon me. Cajon, Corona Del Mar, Bob. I don't know what to tell you.
This bracket is over.
You think so? You think Corona Del Mar's got that much on everybody?
We were talking a little bit before the show. Why shouldn't Corona Del Mar have a chance to be in the D1 bracket? Why shouldn't Corona Del Mar have a chance to say, you know what? We think we can beat those D1 teams. We think we have a shot against some of these D1 teams. Why shouldn't they have had a shot to get in there? and be one of those top 8 teams.
Bob, I think you're talking kind of loud right now because if I'm Colonel
be.
Del Mar, I'm saying, Bob, we're good where we're at, my brother. We are fine here, Division 3.
Because they're going to get rings. Because they're going to win rings here in this division. They are. They're going to run it here. There's nobody within a couple of touchdowns of the Grace Brethren. It'll be a nice little game at the end. I think it'll be CDM Grace Brethren at the end. I don't think Grace Brethren has a chance against Corona Del Mar.
Man, Corona Del Mar, man.
There you go, man.
You're on
there
their
it
team,
is.
Bob, all the way. All right.
That's how good Corona Del Mar is this year.
All right, we'll see what happens, man. They beat Santiago 49-0 in the opening round.
Yes, they did.
Cajon defeated St. Francis 42-14. So they're going to be the stablemates in that bracket. All right, we lost our bracket. Okay, I think we are still ahead of ourselves, folks. Let's get our bracket back. Okay, let's just go to 4 now. All right, taking a look at bracket number 4, Paramount Roosevelt. Paramount is number 1 team. They're Bob against Roosevelt. The Mustangs, I got to go with the Pirates simply because they're ranked number 1, but they're very good. Then we go around with Hart, San Juan Hills, Loyola Villa Park. Bob, interesting game with Loyola Villa Park.
I think that is because you're right. There's no way we would never see that matchup, would we? We would never see Loyola and Villa. Loyola came down to Newport Harbor a few years back in the late 90s, played some games, but Loyola, those teams never really crossed paths. I think that's an interesting one. Villa Park really took some beatings earlier this year.
Certainly did.
We'll see how they can do if they come back. I think Loyola's got a heck of a chance to make some noise here. That Hart San Juan Hills, I don't know. Take your pick there.
Quarterfinals are good, huh?
I know it's crazy because the matchups make styles make matchups, as they say. So I think it's gonna be fun to watch how some of these games. I think Paramount though. I agree with you. Paramount.
Not yet.
Really
Camarillo Downey. I know you guys are on our schedule, but so are we. Camarillo Downey. Camarillo loses 1 game all year. They lose to Grace Brethren, and this is what they get. They get Downey in the quarterfinals. Well, it's going to be a tough one. It's 2 different brands of football, my friend. I don't care where you finish, where you start. It's where you finish, and this is going to be a tough one.
Downey can play. Downey can play football. No doubt about that.
Let's move on now. Division, what are we going, Division 4 now, Bob? Division 5.
Division 5.
Okay.
Going to 5.
Culver City, Chino Hills, another matchup we would never see because of the geographics of it. Beautiful matchup here, Bob.
Culver City's had a couple of good years there, but Chino Hills, and then don't forget, they'd lost their coach and their athletic director. That kind of weird thing going on a couple of weeks ago. They playing with a chip on their shoulder, playing for their coach.
Absolutely.
You never discount a team that's playing for a coach that got let go like that.
In the lower bracket at St. Paul against Shore Belinda, another interesting matchup. Like we keep telling you, something you will never see. Man, flip a coin. They've never met. They've never met, Bob. There's no history here.
Those schools have never played each other. I guarantee you that.
Just like Culver City and Chino Hills. Now we're going to find out they played last year in the opening round. All right.
I like this one. Etowah to Glendora.
Yep. Hey, it's a good ball game. Glendora should be the favorite of the home team this week. They've had a great season. Etowah, man, back and forth, but they're in the playoffs. Anything can happen, Bob.
I already told you Glendora, I think, is going to win this division.
And, Bob, I know you like Oxnard taking on Aquinas. I don't know. Tell me about it.
I don't know much.
All right, very good. At least you're honest, Bob. Division 6 now. Let's flip it.
We'll never lie here.
Listen,
We're
it's
always
hard,
honest
man.
with
You can't keep track of everybody. Can't see every game.
Every
you do
single
what you
school.
can.
Come on.
And that's it. All right. Looking at Division 6, Crespi, Ayala. I am shocked to see Crespi here. I just am. Don't ask me why. I just am, Bob.
Well, I tell you.
Maybe it's because of the prior 10 years that was going on over there.
It's the running joke that Crespi had to get rid of Troy Thomas in order to get good again, right?
And Servite got Troy Thomas to get good again.
Right. Servite brought Troy Thomas. So I think everybody's where they're supposed to be now. Troy Thomas was supposed to be at Servite. We see how much better Servite is for that now. So it's the running joke, but it's good to see Crespi, another one of those legacy teams back making a run in the playoffs.
Pacifica, Citrus Valley, and the other bracket, Kaiser, San Jacinto, and then Lucerna, Los Altos is a good one. That's a very regional game right there. They're probably maybe 3 miles from each other, 4 miles from each other, if that, Bob. One's in Hacienda Heights, one's in Whittier in the hills, just right down there. Both in the hills up there, man.
Los Altos has really become this school, man. That's just good at everything. We know what the basketball team did a year ago. We know what the
in football, though, don't forget Dwayne Despain.
Volleyball, they're playing there. The football team.
Dwayne Despain had these guys on the national stage back in the 70s and the 80s. Then Greg Gaino was in there for a while. Gaino was tearing it up. I think he had 4 CIF championships there. So Los Altos looking for another one. All right, continuing on Division 7 now. Quarterfinal matchups, all of these games. And there's a lot of them, man. All right, Serrano taking on Burbank. Cypress Ventura is when I'm looking on. Cypress and the No Love Club, number 2 team, Bob.
That is a big road trip right there.
Maybe number 3, I'm sorry. Number 3 team. Paramount's number 2.
That is a big road trip. I like Cypress. I think Cypress is a sneaky team in this D7 bracket.
Listen, I heard they're going up 2 days before, they're going to stay in one of the finest hotels, and they're going to train in Thousand Oaks, where the Raiders used to train in the Dallas Cowboys.
I like it.
Santa
Rams
Rosa.
Rams are up there now.
Absolutely. Okay, Temecula Valley against Carter. Interesting matchup, right? That's out in the middle of nowhere. Both these teams are going to clash. And then, of course, Woodrow Wilson, which is Wilson High School, taking on West Ranch, Bob.
I like West Ranch.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
I don't know.
You just like, you like ranch dressing. That's why you like West Ranch, man.
It's a good enough reason to pick a team right there.
Division 8. It's as bad as Billy the G liking schools because of the snack bars, man. What's the matter with you? All right, Sunny Hills, the Lancers taking on Notre Dame. I can't believe we're seeing Notre Dame Sunny Hills sitting here. As we all know, not really a football school, but now they are tearing it up. Their stablemates Alhambra are taking on Edison this week, Bob. Trabuco Hills, San Gregorio going at it, Santa Barbara, Palm Desert. That's a trip I'd want to go on, but Santa Barbara's got to make that 400,000-mile trip to Palm Desert.
That's why you love the southern section,
They're leaving
man.
Wednesday.
They're leaving crazy.
They left Wednesday, I should say. All right, Lisa DeGale and Palmdale.
How about at least to go to Palmdale?
Why not?
Right?
Hey, man,
You
Santa
talk about
Barbara's
the road
got to go
trip.
to Palm Desert.
I think Elisa DeGale's got the longest road trip of anybody this week.
Santa Barbara does. Sorry. All right, continuing on. I don't know. Depends what time of day you leave, too, Bob.
Yeah, it's true.
I forgot about the traffic
You're
issue.
gonna leave at
Okay,
midnight.
Foothill, the Knights. This is up in our boy Carlos's district. Taking on San Dimas. You got Palm Springs taking on North. It's got to be Torrance, Bob. Got to be Torrance. Yeah,
right.
It's not JW. I think it's Torrance.
That's just Torrance.
Newport Harbor in Monrovia. Hey, that's a cool game. Monrovia's tough, but Newport Harbor, what, they only lost was to Corona del Mar, Bob?
They went 7-0, then they lost 3 in a row, right?
Is that what happened?
Corona del Mar,
I was trying to
Edison,
help
Los
him out, Bob.
Alamitos all hammered them pretty good at the end of league. But
Thanks
then,
for outing me.
hey, week 1, Harbor got a nice win again. That's a good football team. We'll see. We'll see what they can do here.
All right, now we're going to look at Highland and Lakewood. Highland again up there in the Pena district.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
It's
high
Carlos's,
desert,
right?
low desert, mid desert. It's the desert, man.
It's the desert.
Lakewood,
Highland's the desert.
it's going to be quite the drive for Highland. I don't know, man. Lakewood is just up and down. They got a ton of kids up there. But Highland's playing pretty consistent, Bob.
D9, the way Foothill plays defense this year, undefeated. I like the Knights.
All right, let's move on. Hey, Bob, you didn't say that with a lot of vim and vigor, man, so I don't know if it's going to...
I still like the Knights.
All right, very good.
There, you like that better?
Crescenta Valley, up in the hills, just above Glendale, taking on Eisenhower,
Ike.
the Eagles. Once proud school in football, Bob. I don't know what happened.
It's been a while, but don't forget, Ike's come around the last couple of years now again. They're a little bit relevant again. It's nice to see.
All right. In the lower bracket, Catella, a no-love club favorite against Segerstrom, Bob. Who do you like in that ball game? That's in your neck of the woods, man. You've covered these guys for years.
That is one of the rare all Orange County matchups here. And
Down the street.
I know they are.
Close matchup right there. They're like within 2 miles. They can walk. If I lose, I'm making my team walk home. If I win, I'll make them walk home.
Boy, I want to pick Segerstrom in this one, but I got to pick Catella. I think Catella's got a little more experience here in this one.
All right, a little less turmoil going around that campus, too, from what I understand.
Yeah, well.
All right, let's go up to the top of the other side. We got Orange and JW North. So we knew the other North was right. It was Torrance, and this confirms it.
This is JW.
All right, that's what happens, man. Anyways, Orange and JW North, Bob, who do you like here?
I like Orange.
All
I like
right.
Orange. I think Orange makes another
I like
run.
oranges, too, bro.
Yeah. You can throw like a couple lemons and limes
I
in
like
there,
them in
too.
my juice, everything. All right, Norte Vista and Simi Valley. Boy, oh boy. Now that's something. I saw Simi Valley play last week. Actually, Western should be here. Simi Valley is here on a 2 bad calls on the winning drive. I mean, Bob, the running back gets the ball for Western.
Right.
Goes 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, and only needed 1 yard. And of course, they pile up and they start pushing it back. Well, they spotted the ball 5 yards back. I couldn't believe what I saw. It was amazing, tough game. But Simi Valley won the ball game, man. It was kind of like the game the other night with the Seahawks and the Niners, back and forth.
I don't care what level of football you're at. It's been a bad year for referees.
Oh, it was.
We'll
And I don't
just
want to bag on the
We'll
refs. They got a
leave it
tough,
at that.
thankless job. I don't want to bag too much, but that was horrible,
It's
Bob.
been a bad year.
It was horrible.
bad year.
Still upset. All right, Linfield Christian and Pasadena going at it. Boy, Bob, the Bulldogs. You know, I don't see how they lose this game. I just
either.
don't.
I think Pasadena's got a good chance to run the bracket here.
Staying up in Pasadena, we got Chaffee and Muir in the lower bracket. Another good one. Chaffee, of course, more in the Inland Empire, up in the San Gabriel Valley, out that way, up the 210. But Muir, in Pasadena, has a rich tradition in football, Bob. We'll see what happens here. Tradition means nothing today.
That whole Pasadena area's become a hotbed again.
Well, look at them. They're all in it, man. El Rancho and Hemet.
Yeah. El Rancho.
I know all about El Rancho, but the Hemet's what I'm thinking about right now.
Well, I'm thinking of El Rancho.
El Rancho's tough. It's tough. Ernie Johnson Stadium over there, but they're not playing at Ernie Johnson Stadium. They're playing in Hemet. That's a coin toss to me. You got Marina taking on Ontario Christian. Marina's a huge school in Orange County, Bob. You know all about Marina, and they're taking on little old Ontario Christian right off the 10 freeway.
Right. That's like 2,400 students at Marina versus,
out of town.
I'm going to guess that any school with a Christian in it is usually, you're talking like 600 kids max.
All right.
That kind of a deal. So
Moving on up. Let's keep going. Moving on to the next bracket. Bracket 12, Nordhoff up in Ojai. That's in Ventura, man, against El Monte. El Monte's tough this year, Bob. They're undefeated. They kill everybody. They had like 12 shutouts.
Tough last year, too.
They played 10 games. They got 12 shutouts. I mean, they're tough, man. I mean, they play D up there in El Monte.
Nobody scores on El Monte.
Jarupa Hills taking on Rio Hondo Prep. Take your pick there. Orange Vista, Oak Park, Bob. A lot of oranges in this playoffs this year.
You said you like oranges.
Keep them straight, man.
Orange Vista made a nice run last year, too.
And
so
Moreno Valley taking on Adelanto. That's that little town off to the right as you're heading to Vegas, my brother.
Adelanto.
Just before you hit Victorville. All right?
Get your boy on the phone, man. He'll tell us all about Adelanto.
Or maybe it's past Victorville. I don't know. It's up that way. I've seen it out there.
Carlos, where are you, man?
All right, Calvary Chapel, Alhambra. Calvary Chapel is no longer a wrestling school. It's a football powerhouse, but they're going up against the undefeated Moors of Alhambra, Bob. No Love Club, number 10.
The Moors are undefeated. I look at them to keep it going.
Cantwell, Montebello, taking on Ramona.
Ramona.
I don't know, Bob. Cantwell's a tiny school.
Yeah, right. They're all tiny in D13. You're talking about small school, not Alhambra.
Well, look at
other schools, maybe
Esperanza.
not,
Esperanza's humongous in
Esperanza's
Orange
a big
County.
school. Why is
Taking on Fillmore.
Why is Esperanza
Fillmore is a
Division
little
13?
earthquake town up there in Ventura. Tiny little town. When earthquakes hit, man, that place rock and rolls.
There was a time in the 90s Esperanza was playing for Division I titles. Now they're a Division 13 team.
I don't know what
Come
to tell
on,
you, man.
That should not happen. We need an investigation on that.
But that lower bracket, Santa Monica and Inglewood, man. Hey, that's a good matchup, Bob. I don't care what anybody says. Don't pick a side in that. Let's go to Division 14.
I'm steering clear of that
Let's
one.
finish out these brackets right here. Man, this is a lot of work here, man. You guys think we're up here, man?
One more to go?
Not putting in the time. We put in the time to every one of these ball games, right, Bob?
Could that be any smaller?
Yeah, that's Ganesh, I believe. Is that what it is? Yeah, taking on St.
St.
Pius Matthias Academy. St. Pius would have been fine. St. Pius the 10 would have been fine. Hey, those guys just reopened that school up there, Bob. They've had that stadium dormant for about 15 years. The most famous athlete was Darren Nelson to come out of that school, the old Minnesota Viking player.
Right. Went to Stanford, I believe.
He certainly did. Okay, Mary Star of the Sea taking on your boys at Vista Del Lago. I believe that's up in going to Temecula there, Bob. On the way out the 15.
I'll take your word for it.
All right. That's the only thing I've seen an off-ramp that said that, so I got to assume that's what the school is, man. All right, you got a bulldog over there. Let's see. Trying to read the graphics. But anyway,
Portola?
It looks like Paris. Is it Portola?
Portola.
Hey, Bob, is this show stupid or what, man?
So you know the thing about Portola now.
Tell me about it.
That's that new school over in Irvine.
All right. Tell me about it.
It might be their second year, but it could be their first year. I'll have to look that up.
Right.
It's either their first or second year of even varsity football.
All right.
Portola's had a heck of a year. And I'll tell you, now, there's no schools in Irvine really do that much anymore because they've watered down the whole city of Irvine. There was a time where Irvine High was really good. Woodbridge had some runs. There was some good times in Irvine, the city of Irvine, in football. They completely watered down that entire city. Too many high schools there. So nice to see Portola come up here and
way to stick it for the neighborhood, Bob. That's true. I agree with you. There's a lot of high schools in Irvine.
There's too many high schools
Bob,
in Irvine
it's all
now.
bedroom community. There's not even a place to party in Irvine, man. There's
you
no
can't
downtown.
find that many kids so they're all 5-5 is the problem now.
All right.
Every team's 5-5, 4-6 in Irvine. They'll never win another title there.
Look, Bob.
It's a shame.
Look at the Trinity League. You think they're crying? Everybody there's got winning records.
That's
and
right.
taking. Anyways, Sierra Vista taking on, man, I didn't see that last one, Bob.
I don't know.
But there we go.
Sierra Vista.
Loera of Anaheim.
Loera.
All right. Sierra Vista having a good
right.
season, but so is Loera. I don't know where that game's going to end up. And that is the Southern Section playoffs. That's all the quarterfinal games. Now you know who's playing. Go out there and find them and go watch them play.
Go watch your team play.
All right.
It's fun.
All right. Time for some City Section action. Checking out the playoffs. Let's go to Randy Rosenblum. Randy, what's up?
Well, Rich, I got to tell you, it's time finally for the open division, and believe me, it is the most wide open division maybe in the history of high school football in Southern California.
And why is that?
Because Narbonne's ineligible,
That's right.
and any one of these 8 could win it. Carson just played San Pedro, last game of the year. They're the 8 seed. Pedro's the number 1. Carson almost won the game, lost a very close, low-scoring game. Pirates are favored at home. The 4-5 game, Garfield, Birmingham. Birmingham has as good athletes as anybody in this division. Garfield has experience. Another terrific game. I really like Jim Rose's team at Birmingham, but this is going to be tough, even though Birmingham is at home. Palisades has the terrific defense. Banning has some offense. Very entertaining game. Could go either way. And I could say that about the last game. Crenshaw, the number 7 seed, going to San Fernando, which is 9-0. Bigger, more physical, but Crenshaw's got athletes. I like San Fernando to wear them down, but it's a very dangerous game. A great open division. Any one of these teams could win the championship on the 29th of November.
It's good matchups here. I mean, I think you're absolutely right.
I even think if Narbonne was in this thing,
Anybody
it would
could
still
win.
be wide open. They were overrated all season. Just saying.
That's a take I'm not sure I agree with, but
right,
it's
just
okay.
throwing it out there just
So
in
let's
case
go to
somebody had the same
D1.
idea.
Lock Eagle Rock. This is dangerous. Eagle Rock wasn't that impressive in their opening round game against Sylmar. Lock was. They won 21-20 at Granada Hills. Angel King is an unbelievable quarterback who can scramble. If you've seen Lamar Jackson, that's Angel King. He does some of the same things with his ability to run. Grant pulled off an amazing win, scoring 38 points at Fairfax. They have a wonderful offense. Mike Smith's a great running back, well over 1,000 yards. El Camino's got a tough defense. ECR out of the stronger league, figures to win, but Grant can really score. On the other side of the bracket, these teams have met already during the regular season. I like Venice again. Too much punch. Westchester's talented, but Venice is a very definite threat to win this division, and Reseda should be too strong for Roosevelt. Reseda has the advantage. They've seen that kind of offense, that wing tee, when they played Cleveland. They're accustomed to it. I like Reseda. They got a lot of skilled athletes. That's the D1 bracket.
Is Luca Diamond good enough to make a run to take his team somewhere in this division?
You're talking about the Venice quarterback.
Yes.
Definitely he's good enough. Definitely they Gondoliers could win a city title, something that their coach Gaskell would love to get because he's never won the title in any division. All right, our next Division II bracket, Franklin's just too strong for Marshall. That should be a blowout. Jefferson has too many weapons for Wilson, I would think, although that could be more competitive. Kennedy and Manual Arts. Kennedy has improved greatly, but it'll probably end here. Manual Arts, again, more athletic. And Chavez, which has a wonderful defense but has struggled offensively, goes to Canoga Park. They've played him the last couple years in the regular season, and Canoga Park's been too strong. That's what we're going to get. I think we have a matchup. It's going to end up being 1-2, Franklin and Canoga Park. That's what I see in D2. Any questions, gentlemen?
Not so far.
Okay, let's turn our attention to volleyball. I said on this program last week, Eagle Rock would finally break through and win the highest division in the city section. They'd come up the ranks. Tim Bergeron does a fabulous job there. He gets them into the finals after a pulsating 5-set victory over Granada Hills in the semis. He has one of his star players go down against Palisades in the championship match. He's able to rearrange his lineup, and he beats Pally, a 30-time champion in that bracket, in 4 sets. This Eagle Rock accomplishment, one of the great accomplishments in any sport in city section history. The fact that they were able to come up all through the brackets, a community school, to compete with the big boys, or in this case, the big ladies, in girls volleyball and win the city title. Also, some kudos to Chatsworth. Chatsworth was able to win in D1 against Venice. That was quite a battle. They split the first 4 sets. Chatsworth ran out to a 6-1 lead and then held on for victory. Sina Agassi does a wonderful job with that Chatsworth program. He's got a very strong team out of the West Valley League, so Chatsworth wins D1. In Division II, University gets by Elizabeth. Uni was the number 2 seed, but Uni, who sweeps Elizabeth, didn't drop but 1 set in the entire playoff run. A great run for University. They'll go into the state tournament as a Division V school, and they could make a deep run in the state tournament. And the last team in volleyball I want to talk about is Grant. They had a great win over Sherman Oaks CES. Sherman Oaks has got a really good volleyball program. Grant had never won a city title. The Lancers finally get it done.
Nice to see a school get their first one.
Yeah, the Lancers
like
deserve it. And a note Doug Bledsoe, the head coach at Dorsey, has resigned.
Oh, geez.
Had a 3-8 season. They lost this year to Crenshaw 51-0, and they were knocked out of the playoffs last week by El Camino Real. So he goes by the boards. He at times had some success over the years, but it just never got going for Doug at Dorsey when he took over the job.
Who takes that job? Who gets that program back on its feet?
I don't know. The numbers are down at both Crenshaw and Dorsey. It's a great job because it's got tradition as a football power. It's wide open. I think they'll find somebody who really wants to coach kids who want to win football games, and I think they got a chance to return to prominence.
Well, if USC don't get Urban Meyer,
Hey?
maybe he'll take over.
He's
down
been
there.
rumored for every other job. Why not the Dorsey job?
All right, guys, let's get to it. You know, they say with the great ones, when the great ones go, they go in threes. Okay, this past week, we lost the third one. We lost Marion Ansich, legendary head football coach, high school, the winningest coach of all time in California when he retired. And then we lost Jack Malstead, another big winner, just short of 300 wins. And then we've lost this past week, we lost Lou Farrar over at Charter Oak. Tough, you know, Lou Farrar had been at Charter Oak. He went to high school there, coached there for like 48 years. He's the man. He's the guy that believed in second chances for people that went awry, for athletes that maybe, you know, took the wrong path. He's able to bring them back and make them citizens. I think that was what he hung his hat on more than anything. Bob, I talked to Reg Miller today.
Yeah.
Reg covered Lou Farrar,
Reg
Charter
covered
Oak
him a lot.
teams, Royal Oak teams back in the day. And, you know, this is how far this thing's going across the country now because, you know, people are on the phone with each other. Lou Farrar, a real legend, 320 wins in his career. 5 CIF championships, 35 league titles in like 40-some-odd years.
Yeah, and
Fantastic.
but the first thing I tweeted it out. The first as I heard about it, the first thing that came to my mind was just a true gentleman. I mean, all the accolades, all the wins, everything else, but just a gentleman. Every time you met him, just a great guy to talk to, just like a Marion Ansich, that kind of a guy.
Unbelievable.
You learn something new every time you talk to somebody like that. Just a wealth of information and a huge loss.
Total character guy. Every coach,
Oh, yeah.
every coach, anybody who's anybody has come out of the woodwork to give kudos to Coach Farrar, and they did it when he was alive, not when he posthumously. They did it prior to.
Right.
In a great article written in the Tribune, Bob. It was fantastic. But we've been lucky enough to talk to Coach Farrar throughout the years. We did it on Prep Sports Night Live a few years back. In 2016, I got to talk to Lou Farrar over at Charter Oak, and I'm going to leave you. We're going to leave you with Lou Farrar. We're going to leave you with him in his own words. This interview was done October of 2016. And I asked Lou what were some of the best memories he had with his career coaching at Charter Oak.
Well, you know, unfortunately, at my age, the first 100 I can hardly remember. the second group, I've had kids contact me who are now older people, and they say, Coach, I was a part of these 38 games or these 25 games, and it's nice to hear them come back and tell me about what they remember about being here. But I think when we combined Royal Oak and Charter Oak together into one high school again, that 84-85 team, it was like combining SC and UCLA. You know,
Yeah.
it was like
I remember
oil
that.
and water.
I remember that.
Yeah, and that effort as a coaching staff to get those kids to play together, to play as one, to go undefeated and win the CF championship and be a big part of the beginning of our first of 5 CF championships, that was a great memory right there.
That merge was like We Are the Titans, right? Like the movie.
Exactly.
You know?
I went through everything that guy went through and more. Somebody said, did you see the movie? I said, no, I lived it. Literally, it was exactly like that.